Phil LeBeau, thank you very much. Well, let's bring in now Seth Kaplan, managing partner at Airline Weekly. Seth, we are hearing stories about possible price gouging. Airlines, however, will say it's just supply and demand. If you got to pay $1,000 for a coach ticket from Miami to Atlanta or Charlotte, that's just supply demand. What do you think? Are airlines taking advantage here?
Well, I mean, to be clear, they don't root for something like this. You heard what Phil said. An airline like American with that huge hub in Miami, looking at, I mean, if Miami gets a direct hit, we're talking about perhaps hundreds of millions of dollars in impact. Spirit and JetBlue, even greater exposure as a percentage of their business in Fort Lauderdale. So they don't like this. But in the end, yeah, it becomes an auction for those very few seats that are left. And I mean, I'm from down there. Friends, family have been calling me, saying, help me out here. And I'm looking in, and most flights are sold out. So the stories of the flight of the seat that's, $1,000, $2,000, those are the rare seats that are left. It is supply and demand economics. Unfortunately,
are they adding capacity, Seth?
Well, an American has said that they've where they can added, but there's not much leverage to do that. I mean, these airlines are going to be trying to get airplanes out of there, not extra airplanes to there. And unfortunately, because this is normally a low demand period, I took a look at the schedule data earlier. They have fewer seats scheduled to leave Miami and Fort Lauderdale this week than they did last week. Why? Well, because last week was Labor Day weekend. You'd think there'd be more demand there. Here you have less supply and this sudden surge in demand added it all up, and it's bad news not only for airlines, but
Seth,
obviously
I got
for consumers.
It may not have just crossed, but I just got it, so we'll say it just crossed. JetBlue is capping direct flight ticket prices out of Florida at $99 ahead of Irma. So JetBlue, which, by the way, we know a number of years ago, I think it was on Valentine's Day, they had that huge ice storm debacle. They're obviously saying, we're going to cap prices, so kudos to JetBlue. Why can't or won't other airlines do this?
But try to find a seat for sale on JetBlue. I mean, I'm telling you, I went on, like I said, it's very personal for me because that's where most of my family and a lot of my friends are, and you can't find very many seats available at any price, and that's why they're mostly gone, is because if anything, had airlines known this was coming, which obviously you can't do, they would have sold all of the seats for somewhat more than they ended up selling. Instead, you had people rush up and sort of grab everything, and there's really not much out there. So yeah, kudos to them, but in terms of actually finding those seats available, there's not much out there.
$99 for a seat that may not exist, I guess, is $99 too much. Seth Kaplan, thank you very much.
Thank you.